5 biggest mistakes that I made when transitioning into a plant-based diet. In this video, I'm going to be covering the 5 biggest mistakes that I made when adopting a plant-based diet. I want to make sure that you avoid making these mistakes because they are completely 100% avoidable. They purely come from, not being informed, not educating yourselves, making assumptions. I'm going to be going through each mistake, explaining what I did, why you don't need to make them, and on top of that, I'm going to be telling you exactly how to avoid them. So here we go. Mistake number 1. Going full bull 100% whole food plant-based straight away. Now this may seem counterintuitive. Don't go whole food plant-based. What? I made the mistake of thinking that I had to replace all of the foods in which I was eating, such as my meat and animal products, with whole foods, with whole plant foods. And what I thought was I had to replace protein for protein. So I went, well, what equals chicken and whey and eggs gram for gram with protein? And what I found was, it was legumes and beans. I thought that that's what I had to replace them with. So I did. If you go and replace up to, 60 grams of protein from chicken with legumes, and you've never consumed that amount in your life, in a day, one day, you are going to have some trouble digesting that. Now that's not to say that you won't be able to in the future, but you have to understand that your body is accustomed to digesting, more animal products, meat and animal products to the best of its ability. It's not that great at it. It's probably better at digesting those foods than it is at digesting a whole bunch of foods which you've never eaten. Your gut bacteria, how well it's able to be digested in your bowel and so on and so forth, isn't where you need it to be yet. It will get there, but it's not there yet. So don't feel that you have to make that mistake. To avoid this, I would advise using those transition foods which are available, those meat alternatives. Now I don't believe that they're great for living on long term, but they're great to add to your diet. Try introducing them, pushing the meat and animal products out, and slowly introducing more whole plant foods, more legumes, those foods in which you probably haven't eaten a lot of in the past. Start eating more of them gradually. Look at all of the amazing sources of protein and other nutrients that you can get from plant foods. Spread it out, add variety, and you'll find that your body will be well equipped at digesting those foods following this strategy. Mistake number 2. Buying expensive super and vegan foods. Now, when you're adopting a plant-based lifestyle, one of your biggest concerns is, am I going to be deficient in certain nutrients? And a really easy way to in your mind to fix this is, hey, just eat all the superfoods. Now, when I talk about superfoods, I'm not talking about, goji berries, oats, blueberries, those whole food superfoods. I'm talking about those highly concentrated powders and blends. You know the type, your vital greens, those berry mixtures. Although they are actually packed full of nutrients, don't get me wrong, they are useful. What you want to do is learn how to meet your daily recommended intake of all nutrients from mostly whole plant foods. So one easy way to do this is to use an application such as Chronometer, which I absolutely love, or MyFitnessPal, and just see how your nutrients add up. Learn how to derive your nutrients from whole plant foods. If you can learn that, and you can also afford the superfoods and the vegan specific foods, then go for it. There's no harm in doing it. But I made the mistake of thinking I had to go out and buy them all. And that cost me a lot of money in the beginning, where really all I had to do was learn the skills, learn what food was worth. That is one of the biggest lessons that you can, no matter what diet you're following. Learn what the food that you are eating is actually worth. And its worth isn't derived from how much it costs financially. It's worth the nutrients that it gives you. Now that may sound also counterintuitive. Superfoods give me a heap of nutrients, especially like antioxidants, cancer-fighting agents. Yes, they do, but so do whole plant foods, yeah? I'm a poor student. I can't really afford those foods anyway. Going out and buying them wasn't actually really worth it. So instead of doing that, just save your money. You will be grateful for it later. Mistake number 3, my lord. Number 3. This is the classic trap anyone following any diet really is gonna fall into. That you need to buy all the subs. Protein subs, vitamin, mineral subs. You need the subs. Thinking that I needed to buy all of the supplements to meet my daily recommended needs, yeah? This mistake is also related to your fear of being deficient. You feel that when adopting a plant-based diet, you run the risk of being deficient in certain nutrients. It's like protein, your vitamins and minerals, you have your vitamin D, your calcium, iron, B12. Now we really do fear that we're going to be deficient in all of these. When it comes to supplementation on a plant-based diet, pretty much all supplements out there are essentially unnecessary, bar one. Now the supplement that you will need to have on hand when you are transitioning into following a plant-based diet is a B12 supplement. I'm not going to go into specifics. You actually can't get a useful form of B12 from a whole food plant-based diet, and that's just a fact. When adopting a plant-based diet, predominantly a whole food plant-based diet, you really will meet your daily recommended needs for nearly all nutrients. You don't need to be going out and buying all the protein powders and all the vitamin and mineral supplements. You really will meet your needs. The way to avoid this mistake is, like I said before, use an app like Chronometer, create an intelligent diet, add all your foods in, and see how your nutrients stack up. If you are lacking in some, reevaluate your diet, do a little bit of research. Don't rely on supplementation to meet your needs. Learn the skills first, take your B12, and you'll be better off in the long run. Mistake number 4, avoiding soy. Doesn't soy contain phytoestrogens? What? Phytoestrogens? Following a plant-based diet is going to increase my estrogen. It's going to affect my testosterone. Ah, no, I'm a male, you know, I like to lift weights. Why would I want to follow a diet that does that? What did I do? I just avoided soy. Biggest mistake. Not the biggest mistake, but it was a big mistake. I soon learned that I did not have to worry about soy. I did not have to worry about the phytoestrogens present in the non-GMO organic soy, non-GMO vegan, non-GMO organic soy products that I was consuming. I'm not going to get into the specifics of phytoestrogens contained in soy. I actually learned that when it comes to phytoestrogens or estrogen, I should have been concerned with the foods I was consuming before being plant-based, such as dairy. If you're concerned about estrogen, then look at dairy. The estradiol, the xenoestrogens that are present in these foods are what we really should be concerned about. And also, if I was actually concerned about phytoestrogens having an estrogenic effect, then what I really should be looking at are the hops found in beer. So when drinking beer, you consume hops. Hops have a stronger link to estrogenic effects in men than any soy products. Maybe that explains why there are so many sets of man boobs at the pub. There was no reason for me to be concerned about the negative effects of soy. I don't mean to bag out dairy in beer, I'm just trying to make the point that I just made this massive assumption when someone said, oh, phytoestrogens are present in soy. Whereas if I really cared about phytoestrogens, then wouldn't I look for the foods that also contain them? In order to put that to rest, I just did my research. And that's what you can do too. When it comes to following a plant-based diet, don't be afraid of soy. Educate yourself and you'll be fine. Mistake number 5. Being embarrassed about beginning my plant-based journey. I felt that I had to explain myself. You know, I feared being ridiculed, especially in social settings, which I was. You go out for a dinner, you go to an event, and your food choices become clear because you actually have to address the issue, perhaps with the waiter that's serving you or the person that's catering for the event. You actually have to address it because you do want to eat and people will find out. In fact, apart from this channel, when I went plant-based, not that many people knew. They only knew when I was put into a position where I had to disclose it. I wasn't walking around going, I'm vegan, oi, I'm plant-based. I wasn't doing that. Feared being questioned and ridiculed and having to explain myself. Where in reality, I did not have to fear that. In fact, it's something I should have been proud of. In my opinion, a plant-based or vegan lifestyle, if there is a lifestyle when it comes to just what you eat and your exercise, if there is any lifestyle out there that you should be proud of, it is a plant-based and vegan lifestyle. Now, of course I'm saying that, I live it. Just hear me out. A plant-based vegan lifestyle, in reality, is the only lifestyle that actually not only benefits yourself, it benefits everyone around you and the billions of lives which occupy this earth. From a sustainability point of view, a plant-based diet is one of the key measures that we can take to reduce our impact on climate change, just as an individual. Not to mention, as a society, what I should have done is embrace my choice to follow a plant-based diet from the get-go, like I do now. Because for me, from what I've learned, it seems like the right decision. Just stand by it. Don't feel like you have to explain yourself. I shouldn't have done that. And now I couldn't be prouder of making this decision. I mean, it's led myself and Sean on a path where we're actually able to create something to express ourselves. We have a greater sense of meaning, and we also know that with each meal, every day, we're actually contributing positively, not only to ourselves, to the people around us in our community, but the world in general. So that's something you should be proud of, and that's extremely powerful. That now wraps up this video. I hope you took a lot from the 5 mistakes that I made. I hope you took a lot from the information that I've covered. These are all the things that you'll recognize from the get-go, instead of having to wait 6 months or even a year to experience those benefits. And that's why I wanted to make this video, so that you can avoid making them and get straight into the good parts of following a plant-based vegan diet. Check out our other videos if you have any questions about what I've covered before, because there's a good chance that we've already covered it. Also, eat your veggies.